Hello, lovely. So, how are things going with your inner critic? Right? We all have one. Well, I'm pretty sure most people have. 99% of us have one. Maybe some people have managed to somehow bypass their inner critic. But for most of us, we have someone in our heads talking to us all the time and generally telling us what we're not very good at and trying to stop us from doing things. Does that sound familiar? It's the voice that's saying to you, you're not experienced enough to do this, you don't know enough, you're not good enough, best you just stay home, you don't want to get up on that stage with all those people, imagine all the things that could go wrong, you don't want to take that promotion, you don't really have enough experience, you're not going to do a very good job. You know, all that voice that we have in our head. So the first thing to think about with the inner critic is it's not you, right? It's that ancient part of your brain that is trying to keep you safe. And it's always, always going to say whatever it thinks that you will listen to. And it's not very nice about it, right? Like, it says things that you would never say to anybody else, right? I mean, can you imagine saying that stuff to someone? You wouldn't say it to yourself, but your inner critic will say it to you because that's their job. So let's have a look at 3 things that you might do to help manage that. You can't get rid of your inner critic, right? You might as well just know that from straight away. But there are a few things that you can try. And the first is to give your inner critic a name. Mine is called Betty, and I can picture her. I know exactly what she looks like. I see her as like a prison guard, dressed in she enjoys wearing a uniform. She enjoys shouting. She enjoys telling me things. And she doesn't seem that keen to hear any logic from my side of things. But so giving them a name just helps separate you from them, separate your thinking prefrontal cortex, adult human brain away from your amygdala. And sometimes that can be enough in a situation to just be like, thanks, Betty. I know you're trying to look after me, but this is something I've got to do. It's really important if I want to progress in my career, if I want to get new clients, so coming here on LinkedIn or any other social media, even just doing this, right? Betty likes to arc up. She likes to sit there and say, you know what, your hair looks a bit rubbish. What's the lighting like? You haven't got anything interesting to say. She's saying that all the time. But, I can't listen to her. Otherwise, I wouldn't be meeting you. I wouldn't be finding the people who most need to work with me. So Betty it is for me, but I suggest you find a name that works for you. And that way you can have conversations with her or him, whoever it might be, or they. So that's number 1. Give them a name. Number 2 is to realize, almost give them the title of Chief Safety Officer. That's what they are, right? They are just trying to keep you safe. And when you remember that, like if you've had a Chief Safety Officer at work, you might have a bit of a grumble about them because they're making sure you tape down the cords on the cables on the floor so nobody trips over. But we acknowledge them and we accept them and we know they're doing an important job, right? So that's all Betty's trying to do. Unfortunately, her idea of what's safe and your idea of what's safe are different things. Betty lives in a world where the slightest, she can't tell the difference between a physical threat and an emotional threat. As far as she's concerned, they're all lions coming to chase you, right? But you need to bring some logic to the situation and accept the fact that she's just doing her job. She's just trying to keep you safe. So once you know she's the Chief Safety Officer, then you can just say, thank you, Betty. I totally appreciate what you're trying to do, but I'm okay. I've got this from here. So that's number 2. Give her a name, give her title. And number 3, while I've said you can't get rid of your inner critic, you could just try sending her off on a holiday for a short time, or maybe to a spa or something like that. So in your mind, just think of a place that you can send Betty for the half hour or the hour that you need her to be gone, and just say, look, I'm sending you off. I'll still be here when you get back. We can talk then, right? So just even imagining her leaving the room. Some people I know like to put her in a box right? Obviously not a real box, but actually, I did have I had a client once who had a little doll that she used to represent her Betty, and she would put her in a box, and that really helped her. So, just finding some ways to get her out of your life just for a short period of time, while you can get on with what you need to do. So, 3 ideas for you to try. I'd love to hear if you have if your inner critic has a name or a character, or anything that's worked for you to just give you that time and space you need to do what it is that you need to do.